Okay, good afternoon everybody and welcome to the third in our series of Pivot Point Lab workshops. This one is focusing specifically on added classes and course management. If you do have any questions, please type them in the box on your screen and we will try to get through as many of them as possible before the end of the workshop. If we do not come back to you at this particular point in time, please email customersupport@vtct.org.uk. So, on Pivot Point Lab, to add a class, the first thing you need to do is to log in. Go to the admin tools bar, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. Click on School Management and look at Manage Classes. At this particular point, you can create a class within there, and that includes a self-registration code for your learners. You will need to share the Introduction to Lab for Learners presentation and the lab website address and self-registration codes with your learners to enable them to access lab. Once you've clicked on the create class, this screen will come up. You need to assign a class name. I would suggest that you stick to the naming protocol within your particular college or your provider base, just so that everybody understands exactly which class this is for. And it is seen by the learners in the class and all the educators as well. In the description box, you can use this to record helpful information, for example, the assigned learning paths or notes for learners. If you are in a school which has a number of campuses, you will need to select the campus if applicable. Please also make sure that you click or tick enable to open the class for self-registration for your learners, and I will go through this later on. You will need to note down the self-registration code so that your learners can log into the specific class and therefore see the learning pathways that you want them to. You also need to make sure that the license use of self-registration is checked for student all access from the drop-down, and you will see the number of licenses that you have used in your school, which will come up. You are also able to have an open and close date for this particular class, which is optional. You can tick to enable to add an open and close date, and these will be displayed on the dashboard. You don't have to do this, but it is up to you. Once you have filled in these boxes, please click on Save and Add. Once you've clicked on Save and Add, what will come up is additional boxes, drop-down boxes. These are Educator, Learner, and Learning Paths. You will need to add the educators to the class from your pool of educators, which you have added already. The learners will need to follow the self-registration to be able to access their information, and you then click on and add the learning paths. You can do this in the pre-built pathways, which are already on Lab, or the centre-built learning pathways to the class to direct your learners to the course content via their dashboard and provide a filter when using Lab reports. Once you have clicked on Add Learning Paths, you can search by using the tag function. There are qualification tags available to help identify which topics support each qualification through the pre-built learning pathways, and I will show you how to do that. We recommend that you add the learning paths in the sequence that you would like your learners to access the course content. Moving on to My Courses, this is accessed through the toolbar on the left-hand side once you log into Pivot Point Lab under My Courses. The filters allow for easy navigation of the topics and courses from the drop-down boxes. The courses include barbering, beauty, hairdressing, tutorials, so the location of how to have the how-to guides for educators and learners, any courses that you have built with your centre name, and the VTCT resources, which are resources that we have purchased and added to Pivot Point Lab. Once again, each topic is divided into courses and lessons covering course content. For example, the shampoo and condition courses include theory, preparation and safety, considerations, massage techniques and products, and formative assessment. As a reminder, the lab, hairdressing and barbering topics include the following on your screen. Those on the left-hand side of the screen are for hairdressing for men and women at level 2. Those on the right-hand side of your screen are advanced courses at level 3, and the barbering is a mix of level 2 and level 3. Additional content for barbering will be added shortly, and this will be highlighted once you log on to lab under notifications. For beauty, the information for the topics is on your screen now, and it is specific to level 2 with some content supporting level 3. There's no specific content for level 3 beauty or level 3 media makeup on the site at the moment. To look at the information on the courses and the lessons, a page will come up, and each lesson starts with a learning goal. If there are skills courses which include video workshops on the screen, you can watch these by simply clicking on the image. On the lesson page, you will also see the knowledge builders which are available for your learners. These are printable or fill-in PDFs, Learning Challenge Plus, and interactive activities to develop and check knowledge. Skills builders, which are activities, resources to support skills development, and interactive quizzes to check your knowledge and understanding. All of the information about what is included in each of the topics and courses is available through the resource manuals. These are located in the under My Courses, and you have specific ones for hairdressing, barbering, beauty, and they are an essential read for educators to help familiarise yourself with the resources and their purpose. Once logging on, you will be able to see the resource maps for each of the topics and courses, and these can be adapted or content cut and paste to help you create your schemes of work. The resource maps identify the courses within a topic and the sequence of delivery, learning goals, the content, and the range of resources. To access the information and the quick start guides on the home page, which I will take you through, you can click on this, and it is an essential read for the new users of Lab. It will take you through to this particular page with the orientation presentations, tutorial videos, and the key terminology. Under this key terminology and the tutorials is specifics on how to build your own courses. So create a course, edit course settings, course enrolment methods, adding content to your own course, and specific activities. I will not be going through this today, as we hope that you are able to use the tutorials and build your own courses should you wish to. At this point, I'm going to come off of the presentation and log into Pivot Point so you can see. As you can see, I have logged into Pivot Point as an educator, and again on the home page what you can see is the quick start guides, which are just here. These ones are specific for educators, and there are specific ones for learners as well. To add a class, I go to Admin Tools, click on School Management, Manage Classes, and Create Class. As this is a test, I'm just going to put test information in here. Make sure that I click the campus, and make sure that I enable the self-registration code, which I'm going to note down because I will show you later on how to log in with this particular point as a learner, and you can see how easy it is. So when you're doing your induction for your learners, this is something you can do in class, or then maybe they could do on their phones. Once again, I'm making sure that the student all access license is ticked, and here is the information about how many seats are available within this particular school. As this is a practice school, there are only 35 seats, but on yours you will have a number of licenses already open to you, and I believe this starts with 100 licenses. If you need more, please contact customer support at vtct.org.uk. You can also add the open and close dates in here should you wish. I'm not going to at this point. I'm going to save and add. This takes me back to this screen, and I've got the other boxes which have appeared for educator, and I'm going to add myself. And at this particular point, please note that to add yourself, you must change the plus button to a minus and click done. And I know that it's worked because my face is in that particular box. I'm not going to add learners because I'm going to ask all of my learners to self-register, but I am going to add the learning pass. So I click the add button, and what you will see on the right-hand side of your screen are all of the preloaded learning paths which are on Lab. As I said in presentation, what I want to do is narrow this down to the particular qualification that I'm delivering. So I'm clicking on the code, which is the VTCT product code, and all of the learning paths which are suitable and we feel are appropriate for this learning path and for this qualification come up. These are all on the right-hand side. What is on the left-hand side is what the learners will be able to see. So I need to move these across, and I can do this by clicking the plus button or by dragging and dropping. I'm going to add them all because we feel that these are all suitable learning paths for this qualification. Sadly, there is no add all button. Now, if in week 1, I want to deliver health and safety first for my learners, I can move health and safety up to the top. So this is the first course or class learning path that appears for these set of learners. If I want to add the developing effectiveness underneath, again, I would move this myself. So this is something that you need to set up before your learners access the information. And once I've finished ordering, I click done. Back to this screen. As you can see, this information has appeared on my class list. And to check that it's there, I click on the wheel, which is the edit button, and I can see, using the drop down, there I am as an educator, and here are all my learning paths in the way that I wish my learners to see them. The other way to check that your information is available is to go onto your dashboard. If your class is not there, it means that you've not added yourself as an educator. So once I've done this, I can see that how the information is presented to my learners and the learning paths which are on here. I will go through that process one more time. So to add a class, I click on Admin Tools, School Management, Class Management. Create class. Type in the information that I wish. Make sure that I have selected my campus, and again, make sure that I have clicked the Enable button for my learners and selected the Student All Access. Save and add. Add myself as an educator, making sure that the plus button is turned to a minus, and I click Done. Not adding in my learners because I've noted down the self-registration code. Add the learning path that I wish for these particular learners using the tag function available. And then once again, reordering these in the order that I wished them to be. Scroll to the bottom and click Done. Save changes. And I can see that my information is available on my class list. I will check once again that it is available by checking on my dashboard. There it is. And also here are the learning paths in the order that I wanted them to be there. So moving on to the my courses, I click on the list on the left-hand side of the screen. And for example, I want to have a look at the anatomy and physiology for beauty, all of the courses that are available under this learning path. And here is all of the information and all the courses that are available. If I click on the nail theory to have a look, you can see the content of the course here. And as I said, here are the knowledge builders that are available for your learners. You have a word wall, a mind map. They can add a comment should they wish. There is also a nail theory quiz. You will also see the educator resources, and as you can see, they are hidden from students. This includes a slide presentation, an answer key to the word wall, and an answer key to the mind map. I'll find one with a video for you. And if I wanted to play this particular video, I would just click on the play button. At this particular point in time, I'm going to mute myself and wait for questions from yourselves. One question is, if you have a learner that is registered on multiple qualifications, then you will need to set up multiple classes for those learners to access that information. Therefore, they will need different codes to access the information. So once they've accessed once, they can access again. For information about the course codes needed to select the paths, what you can do to find that information is to go to the VTCT website, scroll down to see pivot point, and scroll again. And here is a list of all of the VTCT qualifications and ITEC qualifications that are available on Lab. And you can also see their product codes here, which are the ones listed in Lab. I'm going to go on to Edge now to log in so you can see from a learner perspective and the code that I used for one of my test classes. So with the login screen, your students will see this particular box here, new student, click to register. Once they have scrolled through all of the GDPR information, and agree to the terms. You will see the information here to put in the registration code. And I click the register button. This is the view from your learners. And as you can see, this particular learner has access to the class that I set up. And the learning paths in the order that I put them in. If you have any other questions, please put them in the box now. Just a reminder that there are another series of workshops and webinars which are starting tomorrow. These are weekly webinars and they're available on the VTCT website under the events page. There's a Introduction to Manage Assess webinar on Thursday morning, should you wish to join. Again, and the joining information is on the VTCT website under the events page. Question that's just come in is, do you have to use self-registration? For your learners, no, you don't. You are able to give them access using the user page, which is under admin tools, user management, create user, which is something we went through in our initial workshop. And the webinar for that and the recording of that will be added to the website shortly. If you want to have a go before then, the other thing you can do is go onto the home page, log on to the Quick Start Guide, and you can see invite educators and so on. And on the tutorial page, we have the create users and the users role. That's where the information is. I don't believe there are any more questions. So once again, if you have any other questions which we haven't covered today, you can use the Pivot Point educational resources on Lab from the homepage, or email support@pivotpointlab.co.uk, or you can email customer support@vtct.org.uk. Many thanks and have a good afternoon.